Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors in Winston, Chester. Glad you're here this Monday morning. What a way to start the week. We had a stormy weekend, got a good week ahead, it looks like, so everybody's excited, and I appreciate you watching the show, however you watch it, recorded live here, or just whatever you do. We appreciate the viewership, and we've really just got a good thing going, thanks to folks like y'all. Listen, our high today is going to be 75 and low 65. Of course, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center, and we're looking at the Gulf water temperature still around 63 degrees, and all storm, everything gets sort of chopped up as far as moving around in the bottom. I always wonder on the bottom, when a hurricane comes through the bottom, it really gets mixed. We showed you when Hurricane Michael came how much of that bottom stuff moved around, but you wonder sometimes when these storm systems come through, how much more does it happen? My guess on it is that things turn a little bit and all, because it's turbulent when it stays that strong and all. So it's just interesting to me, all those little things like that. And I know the fish hunker down. We know that, but they still, when they hunker down, they still move. And I know in freshwater they hunker down too. So that's been proven. But nobody's going to be fishing during those times. Our moon phase, our Monday moon phase, we're looking. We just had the full moon was Friday night. We didn't get to see all the clouds and all, but on the early part of the week, we had some beautiful skies, and leading up to it, our new moon now will be the 23rd and 24th of this month. It'll be about 2 weeks from now. It's going to be about a week and a half, and it'll be like a Friday and Saturday night. Also, we're looking at the last quarter will be this Friday, so it's waning on down, and it'll start building up with that new moon. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at low tide this morning at 9:06 and a high at 11:06. And our marine forecast, south-southeast at about 8 to 9. Now let's take a break and be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's talk about something that's prevalent this time of year, and I just want y'all to be careful. And I know y'all are aware of it, but a lot of times we just take it for granted, and that's deer vehicle collisions. We talk about it every year around this time because the deer are really moving around at night. A lot of things going on, and what prompted me to think about it and to mention it again on the show, I'm going to show you this picture here. Dixie Joe Westbrook, one of my former students, this is not why I was planning to spend my night. I'm so glad Annabelle was not with me. I'm okay, but Betty, my car, and the deer are not. You can see Dixie Joe had a collision with a deer the other night. She's local, and I think that's on 231. I'm not sure. I hate to say they live up that way, but I got tickled two things. I'm tickled that she's safe and everything's fine. And the second thing I was tickled at was naming her car Betty. And I got tickled because we were going through a period of time where nobody named the cars, but going back to my generation, we always had names for a car. You think about that song, Maybelline. I know you old timers remember that song. And now young people now naming their cars and motorcycles and all that. I get a kick out of that. But anyway, these collisions are real. And then I don't have this with me. In the Liberty County Journal, I've been saving it. I had it sitting there on the bar. I left it right there on my bar when I walked out of the house this morning, right next to my notebook here. But on the front page of Liberty County, of the Calhoun Liberty Journal, was a deer vehicle collision. Didn't end out that nice. There was a fatality. And the young man was 29 years old, and it happened like at 9:08 p.m., and it was on Highway 73 up there in the northern part of Calhoun County. He was from Greenwood, he was from Jackson County, by 9 o'clock one night last week, and it was a tragedy because alcohol was not involved, speed was not involved, and the deer obviously came through the windshield, and I saw this and I read that, so I just wanted to pass this on to you, our viewers. We have to be careful. I don't know how you can avoid them other than just really sort of be looking out. The big thing is know where you are. Like if I'm driving on Highway 20, which I have it's fairly common to drive on Highway 20 from 231 to Quincy or Tallahassee. That road is dangerous. There's a lot of deer in there. So I pulled up some stats for you, and here's deer. Okay, these are the collisions. These are the odds right here in getting hit by Florida's in pretty good shape. 1 in 972. That's because down in Miami they don't have very many. Alabama 1 in 132. But you see, those are the odds. The Southeast is pretty strong, okay? The number one state, you're not going to guess it because I had no idea. The number one state in the country on getting hit with a deer is West Virginia, right there in the middle of the screen. 1 in 41. And look at that whole area right next to Virginia, 1 in 96. And that just surprised me there was that many people. I mean, that many odds. And then sort of out around Montana. Look at those, that's pretty strong out there too. Of course, not that many people. But those are the odds right there. Here's the top 5 states. This is all state insurance. So you know they've researched it. Virginia's number 1. Oh, I'm sorry, West Virginia is 1 in 38 now. It's gone up. And this is 2019. Montana, we just showed it, 1 in 48. Number 3, Pennsylvania. Jeff, that's your home state, isn't it? 1 in 52. And South Dakota, number 4, 1 in 54. Those last 3 are real close. And Iowa. You wouldn't think Iowa would be there with all that farmland. You think you see those deer jumping the fence. But that's pretty strong collision. So anyway, I just wanted to, I gave you some local situations where it happened to a couple of local people, then looking at national. It's just something to be aware of, and not just the outdoorsmen, all of our neighbors and everybody needs to know, drive careful at night, okay? The other thing, I had an email, we're talking about collisions, I had an email after the show. Remember we showed the boat that had run over a stump and knocked the motor off up in Lake Seminole. We showed that last week, and we're talking about deer collision and boat collisions. And I got an email, our good buddy Mike Bush down at Dead Lakes. Mike watched the show every morning. I won't read the whole thing, but he said, "Good morning, Winston. After seeing the picture of the boat hitting a stump in Lake Seminole, and also remember about Captain Roy being on the show and him being thrown out of his boat, I wanted to tell you and your listeners about the breakaway jack plate from CMC. Now, it's talking about breakaway jack plate. Sounds good, doesn't it? As you know, my wife and I live on Dead Lakes, and hitting stumps is a regular event. Oh, that is true down there. I had a new motor installed on our bulletproof boat built in Bluntstown. The old motor had power lift and trim. As you know, the motor is locked down. Unlike the old 2-strokes, it would kick up. That's a good point now. Now, I hit a stump and was knocked out of my seat when the boat came to a sudden stop. I decided to use a breakaway jack plate when I replaced the motor, and it didn't take long before I hit a world-famous Dead Lake stump, and was happy to have the motor kick up and fall back in position, and without slowing the boat down. I've attached a link to the jack plate, safety advice and all. Here's a link. Let me see. Right here, marinesupplies.com, that link right there, and also, okay, I think you got it right there. So if you want to check on that's interesting and all. Okay, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Thanks, Mike, for sending that. Okay, welcome back. There was some discussion the other night. I got into it in a good discussion with some folks on how much you pay for a lease if you're leasing. Some folks are looking for next year's hunting land and want to know how much, what's a fair price to pay for leased land, what the landowners are charging. And Chad Redding had started out the discussion. A lot of people had some good feedback on it, and I've known Chad a long time. And Chad's a good hunter. He's been hunting up in Georgia. He's got a good place up there. But a lot of people sort of looking around here. And from what I can gather, all the information, I sort of pieced everything together, wrote some notes and all. Some people are paying as much as $8.50 per acre. Some are paying like $4.50 per acre. But I think the going price, a fair price for both parties, I think, and I'll go ahead and say this on air, it looks like it's going to be around $5 an acre is what leased land should be going for next year. Now, I know Deseret, I think they lease theirs for $5 an acre, and different places. So if you're looking around and all, that would be a good, fair starting place if you're looking for some leases for next year. So keep that in mind. So another thing too, wanted to mention, I spend a lot of time now relaxing, and when I do relax, it seems like my relaxation when I'm sitting in my sitting in my recliner looking out the window at my bird feeder. And I laugh when I do it because I can remember my dad doing the same thing when I was a younger man. I said, "Dad, why are you looking at the birds?" And he said, it's relaxing, son. And now I know what I'm talking about. So wintertime, feeding our birds in wintertime is just, over the years and all, I've just got a kick out of it. And so I know some of y'all do the same thing. And they, you stop and think now that wildlife, birds and animals, they just don't have a lot of food in the woods in the winter time. So well, I do my share and help feed our birds. I got dove all over. I could have a great dove shoot in my backyard, and then I got all kind of red birds. You know what I'm talking about. But it's a lot of fun, and you gotta keep the. I got 2 feeders, and one of them is an old antique one, and then one from student made, and I just enjoy sitting down and watching them, and I don't. It's just relaxing for me. I want to mention that to you if any of y'all get to do it. It is relaxing and enjoyable thing, and it sort of gets you in touch with nature too. You sit there and watch them, and sometimes you get those red birds coming up and looking in the window. You know that's one of you. I think, well, that's my brother coming to check on me, or that's my mom, or something like that. You know what I say about red birds. But anyway, let's move on to some announcements and all. FWC is putting this on here now. Partners a workshop for private landowners, and this is our folks up in Washington County. It will be January 22nd. If you want to do some prescribed burning or something, and it's with the National Wild Turkey Federation. They're worked in with it too, and it's going to be 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's a whole day, and it's going to be there'll be different ways, different things. I haven't been in one of these, but I know that's a good deal right there. So be aware of that. And also, well, here it is right here again. So. Also, speaking of announcements, I know we mentioned about the bees getting into the apple corn. I made me think about it. Now, this is a 25th annual beekeeping symposium, February the 1st. Now, this is going to be at Auburn University, but that's a nice drive up there. But anyway, that way, for you folks that are interested in it, that's a good way to spend a weekend or something. I know they got some good information. One more thing about Auburn. Auburn's School of Wildlife and all kind of stuff like that, School of Forestry, is probably the best in the Southeast. And they're always doing some kind of nature stuff. So I always when I see something with their name on it, I get a kick out of that. Okay, now guess what I want to do now? I want to go back to my resolutions that I've tried to do. I may or may not finish them today. I appreciate y'all. Some of y'all sent some of them in to me. This one, I was already fish more, hunt more, explore. I'm going to do some exploring on some of those areas we look at. Also, I want to finish. I can't read my writing. I'm going to finish my hurricane work. I'm going to finish that up this year, I promise you. And spend time with grandkids to mention that. I want to get back to more. I used to read a lot. I don't get back to reading. I don't read as much as I used to, and I hate that. And the main reason because of social media. And I enjoy social media. I'm all on the positive side of it. I encourage people, and I get positive stuff, positive feedback, and stay in touch with a lot of folks I normally wouldn't be in touch with. It wouldn't be for social media. And what happens is it's a double-edged sword, because what happens, you get all these advantages of it, but the disadvantage is the doggone time it takes away from you. And I find myself, and that's what my reading has really suffered. And like I say, when I went to the bookstore in Apalachicola during the holidays, I read, man, I hadn't read in a while. I got to get back to reading. So that's one of my resolutions. I'm going to start back with some smaller books. I'm not going to get in big novels or anything. So start back with smaller books and do some stuff like that. Anyway, back to reading. And also, I want to witness my faith more. Each year I try to be a witness to my faith, and I want to make sure I do get that covered this year. And here's something cool Gail and I are going to do, where the CEOPA conference is going to be in Virginia this coming October. But I'm going to move over after that. This is something I wanted to do for, almost 50 years. This year will be the 50th anniversary of the Marshall University football team plane going down. And I had a good friend of mine on that plane. And when we finish the CEOPA, we're going to drive over to Marshall University in West Virginia. I want to visit I'm sure they're going to be having a ceremony. I don't know if it'll be when we're there or not. But I want to go to the site of the plane crash and the memorial and all. I know they got it. I want to see David DeBoer's name on it. David was a big old tackle, played for Quincy High School and then played for Marshall. If you saw the movie Will Marshall, when they showed the roster at the end of the movie, I saw his name on there, number 76. And I've always wanted to go there. I was just a big loss to all of his friends and all. He was a good guy, and way too short was his life ended. So that's one thing with my resolutions I'm going to do. As the 50th, can you believe that? 50 years ago, I was a student in Florida when I came across the TV screen. Had some personal goals. I want to mention some stuff. Maybe this week I got something special coming up. You're going to be excited about it. And also, now, getting back to Panhandle Outdoors, we're going to have all kind of guests. If you know some exciting guests that would be good on the show that you think people would enjoy, talking to Jeff before the show, I've always wanted to get a meteorologist on here. Most of our meteorologists sort of tied in with another TV station and not allowed to come see us and all. I can understand that, contractual and all, but I noticed maybe some retired meteorologists, something, I'd like to pick their brain about, like these fronts moving in and this and that, and why were they not able to predict Michael being stronger than they did, and just different things like that. Let's see, I got that's most of them right there, but they're all scattered. I used to make a nice list. I got them all scattered through here. I want to do, I'm going to finish up that storm work. I mentioned that. Okay, I think that's most of them. Okay, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 2:14 to 4:14 this morning. We just passed that one, but this afternoon, 2:42 to 4:42. We're going to add some names, and remember how we talked about this scientific method of doing it. All right, here we go. Let's go up there to Angela Sharon Hill from Fountain, and we're looking at Beth Rogers from the Sand Hills, Gracie Cobb from Fountain. We're looking from Alford, Vicki Welch, Barbara Carroll, Westfield, Aubrey Carroll, Westfield, Russell Welch, Alford, William Barker, Westville. Okay, from the Sand Hills, Steve Rogers from Fountain, Charles Michael. Got a lot of folks over there in Fountain. We appreciate y'all. And then, let's see, Brittany Cruz from Westville. Okay, and also Versi Cruz from Westville. They've been with us since day one, I know. Mayor Cruz, Westville. Nancy Barker, Westville. Denise Cobb, Fountain. From Clarksville, Star Hill from Clarksville. Amanda Davis, Clarksville. Brycey Cobb, Fountain. Randy Stickley from Clarksville. Ty Cobb from Fountain. And Katie Cumby and Brewster Cobb from Fountain. So, all right, so we're filling her up, okay? One thing, let me mention this to you, I didn't bring them today. I get my yearly eye exam. I was in there last week, and I've changed I got a new eye doctor. My eye doctor I went to school with, he was at a local place. He retired, so I've got a new one. I'm really excited, very, very good, and he likes nature, likes to fish and all that. But anyway, but what I want to pass on to you, and he told me my vision was in really good shape, especially for a man my age. And we're talking about it. And one of the things he said, "Do you wear sunglasses?" I said, "I wear them religiously." I said, "I've always worn sunglasses." He said, "Honestly, Coach," he said, "that's why your eyes are in good shape at your age." And I just want to encourage. I want to pass this on to you. I want to encourage you, no matter what age, make sure you wear those sunglasses in the outdoors, especially out there fishing or out there in the outdoors or on the beach and all. Because it protects your eyes. So pass that on to your children or grandchildren, whatever. I know a lot of them wear them because of fashion and all, but make sure they get in a habit of wearing them when they're doing outdoor stuff. I just want to pass that on to you. And so I'm passing things on. I was looking at that deer that Ken Paramore brought in last week. That was a nice buck. I got to think about old Ken, what a good hunter he is, and like I said, get him different places. And I started thinking about, this guy's a good hunter. This guy, I know a lot of good hunters and successful. I've known them a lot. My brother was excellent, and a boy named Alan Shepard. They were always, year after year, they were the one bringing in that big buck, year after year. And I got to think about, I look back on, I could almost write a book on the traits of these good hunters, up in a different, they're at a different level, and they don't try to be a different level. They just have this passion. That we all have this passion, but I wrote down some traits and all. I started off with the P's. I got 5 P's, and this is what all these guys, these are traits that all these great deer hunters have in common. The first one I wrote down is patience. They're patient, okay? Number 2, they're prepared. They know they're prepared for what's going to happen. Number 3, they prioritize their time. In other words, they know during this time of the year they're going to have to get after it. They know to get after it now. And maybe not that much that first week of December or whatever, because they know right now is good. So they prioritize that. They look at the calendar and they prioritize that time. And that was critical to me. And of course, number 4, they're persistent. They're going to just stay after it. So you think about those 4 P's right there. And then on the S's, I got 5 S's. This just comes from old teaching things. I write stuff on the board. One of the S's, they study. They study the situation. They know where that buck's going to be, and they just know it. So they study the situation. And of course, number 2, they scout. They definitely had a place scouted out. And that's like when Ken moved to a new area. He didn't walk in there that morning and shoot a buck. He went up there, I promise you, he scouted that area out, and he knew where to get. Number 3, they're in shape now. They're in decent shape. They can get in, so I put shape. They might not run a triathlon this coming weekend, but they're going to be good enough shape to get back in the woods and move around and handle stuff and all. So they've all had that in common. Number 4, they're smart. They're what I call deer smart. They understand the habits and what that deer is going to be doing. They're smart as to, I'm not talking about the IQ, I'm going to go there with IQs and all, but I'm talking about they're smart with their knowledge of the outdoors and what that deer is going to be doing. So that was number 4. Number 5, they're a shot. They're a great shooter, okay? They make that great shot. They bring them down with some really good shots. I've always noticed that. They make good shots. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. And then I have 1 R. The R is resilient. I mean, they may not get them Monday morning, but they're going to go back on Wednesday morning. They're going to be resilient, and they're going to miss something or be there a little bit later or something. But the resiliency is a common trait with these guys. And it's just my list of what Winston Chester considers the great habits of a great deer hunter. Okay, so I know. Some of y'all agree you know what I'm talking about if you're out in the woods much, so that's good. So anyway, we're going to start wrapping things up. Like I said, if we have got a big show line for tomorrow. If you have any suggestions coming on 2020, some things you'd like to see on Panhandle Outdoors, special guests or some knowledge and all, we'll try to do the best we can to get those answers and all for you. Try to keep you informed and try to keep you entertained. And we just always appreciate you watching the show. One of the things, I got a special announcement coming up later on this week, and some exciting things coming up for all of us. So, and also, I looked at last week of February, I think I'm already getting ready for a boat show. Can you believe that? Well, we'll tell you more about it. You'll have a great day today. Do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy our great outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.